Welcome to the session. Topic of the session is meaning, importance and role of participation. You are aware that the agriculture policy is a complex process. It involves large number of the people. There are large number of the stakeholders. Large number of peoples are affected by the agriculture policy. There are different type of instruments used to achieve the objective of the policy. That's why it is very complex process. We involve the farmers. They are the basic participants, or you can say they are the basic beneficiary of the agriculture policy. We have the traders, we have the consumers, we have the government, we have the different types of the stakeholders like cooperative organizations, civil service organizations, civil society organizations. There are the institutions like research institutions, extension institutions, there are different donor agencies. So, there are large number of the stakeholders in the agriculture policy process, and sometimes there are the conflicting objectives among the different stakeholders they want to achieve out of the agriculture policy. Like farmers, they want maximum share in the market price. The consumers, they want at the minimum price the agriculture produce. Then the middlemen, they want to have maximum return out of this complete agri value chain. So there are conflicting issues, and we have the limited resources. We want to achieve the desired objective within our limited resources. So that's why sometimes a lot of conflicts or and contradictory issues appears among the policy formulation process or among the policy implementers. So in order to arrive at a common consensus, or to identify a correct issues, to identify the real issue of the agriculture policy, to identify the correct or real problem of agriculture sectors, we need to involve the people in the policy formulation process, in the policy implementation process, in the monitoring process, in the impact assessment process. So that's why the real issue can be identified, real instruments or the effective instruments can be identified in the agriculture policy process. That's why there is a lot of importance nowadays on the participation of the people, particularly the different stakeholders who are the directly beneficiary of that intended policy actions. We should include all these people in the policy formulation process, so that the effective policy can be implemented in a country. So in this session basically we are going to discuss about the meaning of the participations, their importance, and how we can bring the participation in the policy formulation. So I have already explained that agriculture policy requires the participation of the different stakeholders, especially the farmers. Their meaningful participation or their participation in effective way is very much required to form a very good policy or the implementable policy or the policy which can achieve the output. So nowadays a lot of importance is given on the inclusive growth model. So inclusive growth means taking the view of the different stakeholders, particularly the target groups. So key principle of the inclusive growth is the people's participation in the development of the development programs, in the agriculture development policy, and it is very important in the country like India, where we have limited resources. We have to serve the large number of the people. Learning objective of this session is to describe the importance of the participation in agriculture policy process, discuss the transaction cost of the participation in an agriculture policy process, because there is some cost of participation is there. We need to understand what is that transaction cost, and also we will understand the incentives and the institutional arrangement which are required to promote the participation in agriculture policy process. So first let us begin with the meaning and importance of the participation. There are different components, various components in the comprehensive agriculture policy, because we have the different subsectors in agriculture sectors like livestock sector, the horticulture sector, the crop sectors, the commercial crop, the cash crop, poultry, the beekeeping, sericulture. So there are different types of. Then the agriculture sector policy is also affected by the different sectors policy like environmental policy, water use policy, land use policy. So there are various components in agriculture policy. In order to frame a comprehensive agriculture policy, all these components or subsector component need to be included. And participation, we can define participation is a means through which different stakeholders are allowed to influence a policy making process. So it is the tools or process through which we allow the stakeholders to influence the policy making process, or in turn they exercise control over the outcome of the policy which affects them. So actually through the participation we are allowing the people to control the outcome of the policy, and actually the outcome of policy which will affect the participant, the beneficiaries who are participating in the policy process. Effective participant is important because there is a wide diversity and disparity in the the stakeholders. We have the suppose we talk about the farmers, we have the marginal farmer, we have the small farmer, and we have the medium farmer, we have the large farmers, and the economic condition or socio-economic condition of the different types of farmers are different. There is a large inequality, we can say, from among the farmers also, like in the farmers of the dryland area is comparatively poorer than the farmers of the resource rich or where the irrigation facility is available. So there is a large inequality is there. So all type of farmers should be participating in the policy making process, or their effective participation is very much important. We can identify there are different beneficiaries, stakeholder of the agriculture policy process. Like the prime stakeholder of the agriculture policy process is the farming community, and we have different subgroups in the farming community also, like women, agricultural laborer, and the tribal farmer, the farmer in the dryland as well as in the irrigated regions, and then the market oriented farmers or in the commercial crop growing farmers. So there are different subcategory of the farmers are there. But the farming or farming community, basically they are the dispersed. We have the large number, but they are in the different places. They are unorganized, they don't have formal type of union, we can say, so that they can bargain. Actually they are weak in the bargaining. They don't have much unity, we can say, or they don't have much bargaining power, so that they can influence the policy or they can influence the government, and they influence the bureaucracy. So they have the weak bargaining power. And then we have the key actors like household as a consumer, the public servant, like the politicians or bureaucrats, or we have the private sectors or civil society agents like NGOs. So there are different types of the people, so organizations are there. Then we have the actors outside the country also, like donor agency or aid agencies who provide fund for the different types of development projects. And the participation of the stakeholders are at different degree. Like we have the participation of the stakeholder for the sake of their seeking their opinion. So seeking opinion is one of the degree of participation. Like when we want to frame objectives, we want to decide, we are taking decision about the mode and methods of policy process, how the policy will be framed. Here in this condition we need only opinions of the sometimes we need to have direct involvement, like framing of the policy or implementation of the policy. The direct involvement of the stakeholders is required. Sometimes we need to have participation for taking consensus because sometimes there is trade-off on conflicting objectives, and so in that condition we need to build some consensus. I know, so so this is the another level of participation, we can say. Sometimes through the participation we assign the responsibilities, particularly in case of the monitoring and evaluation of a project or policy. Sometimes the degree of participation is for proceeding, like what is the final outcome of the policy, or what is there any shortfall in the policy outcome. Sometimes we also have participation for choosing among the different options, like we can make some changes in the policy instruments, or we can make some revisions, or sometimes we can again reconsider the policy process. So there are different level of or degree of participations are there. But here most important question, why participation is required in the policy process or in the any development program. So actually the participation is important because it generates a sense of ownership or a sense of empowerment. When we ask someone why what is the need of here, what type of policy we should, whether you will be able to involve in the policy. So people, they feel ownership and they feel empowered, so and sometimes we, and through the participation, we make the beneficiary or the people who are participating in the process, them responsible for the outcome of the policy process. So if the grassroots, the worker, the grassroots farmers, if we are asking them what type of the program is required, and if we implement that program, the people who have suggested the program, they will be responsible for the outcome of the policy process. So in this way the participation is very much required. And this actually the participation, actually it allows the farmers to express and analyze the realities or real conditions of the agriculture sector, because they know better. When we can include their feedback in the policy formulation process, and then this participation enables the stakeholders to involve, so that potential cause of the failures of the policy can be visualized and can be arrested. Actually through the participation, the participation of the people, participation of the farmers, we can visualize the is there any cause, or is there any reason so that this policy can be failure. So we can visualize that type of causes in advance if we have the feedback from the beneficiaries. And this participation also help in building the synergy among the various objectives, among the conflicting objective of the different stakeholders, and we can arrive at judicious combination of the instruments. So there are different type of instruments are there, so we can reach at a judicious combination of the instrument. And here basically the participation also help in establishing the harmony among the strengths of the different stakeholders of a policy process. And the participation is very much important in all the stages of the policy, and we can divide the policy making process in the 4 stages sometimes, like in the formation of the policy, the implementation of the policy, monitoring and evaluation of policy. And in the last, actually this participation is also helpful in bearing the responsibility of the success or failure. So when the impact assessment or evaluation, here we can make someone responsible for the success or failure, because the people's involvement is there. And then when we talk about the participation, there is a dimension of space and time. So actually how many people should want to involve in a policy making process, or how long these peoples or the beneficiary or to target the beneficiaries, they will be there in the policy making process. So space and time dimension is important when we talk about the participation of the people in the policy formulation process. So space dimension means scale of involvement, how many peoples, because we have 100 million of the farmers in India, and so how many of them we can include in the policy making process. So this is one of the consideration when we talk about the participation, and how long they will be there in the policy formulation process. Only their the opinion is required for deciding on the objectives, or their involvement is also required during the implementation, whether their involvement is also required in the monitoring and in evaluation or impact assessment. So how long their participation is required, that is also important consideration when we talk about the participation. And basically in the formulation stages, generally we have few experts of agriculture economics or agriculture science peoples. When we talk about the agriculture policy, some very good eminent scientists we involve, and there are few enlightened farmers are there. They know, they understand the agriculture situations, because they are belong to the farming community, they understand the problem of a farming community. So generally we have the few experts and few enlightened farmers in the formulation stage. And actually here we can say that in the formulation stages, the participation of the farmers is low in terms of the both times and spaces. But in the case of the implementation stage, we need to have high intensity of the participation, and that is very much crucial actually. And this participation is dependent upon the objectives of the policy or the type of instruments we are using. Based on this, suppose the instruments is to have some related to water utilization, there will be large participation from the farmers, or some the instruments is related to trade, so there will be low participation from the farmers. And we have different types of objective in agriculture policy, like if the objective is related to the economic or economics objective policies are there, like price and trade, the participation of the farmers, the primary stakeholders like farmers, is inherently low. So there is a low participation from the farmers if trade policy is there, the price policy is there. If the objectives or policy is related to sustainability, or there are some sustainability oriented policies are there, so like the environmental restoration, we need to have higher participation of the community, civil society agents or the cooperatives, because they have to implement the policy action at the grassroots levels. And if the policy is related to equity oriented policies, like policies related to the technology, credit or marketing, here the role of the government is predominant, government play important role. But we have the challenge is to enhance, or how to enhance and ensure the higher participation of the farmers, irrespective of the condition, irrespective of the objective, irrespective of the instruments. So actually we need to bring more participation of the people in the policy making process. And actually one of the most important objectives of the participation, it help in arresting the policy failure. So actually we can define the policy failure here as like there is a the policy failure is basically a discrepancy between what is intended and what actually achieved or implemented in a policy process. So it is basically a difference between the intended goal and the achieved goal. And there are different reasons for the policy failures, like sometimes there is a overplay of the experts and economists. Sometimes they neglect the farmers and the stakeholders, they don't seek their opinion. Sometimes we find there is a complete dominance of the bureaucracy in the implementation, and we don't take the help of the grassroots, the farmers, the beneficiaries. Sometimes the document is very complex, it is not understandable to the implementing agency sometimes, or sometimes there is inadequate attention is given to the social cultural issues of the farming community or agriculture community or rural community. There is not much importance or attention given to the mode of the achievement, the resource and time frame, and to implement the policy objectives. So these are the common reasons for the policy failure. Actually, we need to give adequate attention for the people's participation in the policy formulation stage, and that have the capacity to arrest the policy failure. If we involve the people in the beginning itself, in the policy formulation itself stage, then we can stop this policy failure, and actually it help in harmonizing the conflicting objective among the different stakeholders. And sometimes we observe that there is a behavior of the rent seeking. They want to earn more and more out of that policy action. They want to extract some kind of directly unproductive profit out of the policy actions. If we involve the peoples or we involve the target group, that can help us to put the check on the excessive rent seeking behavior of the key stakeholders. So the participation is very much important to arrest the policy failure. Now we will talk about the cost, incentive, institution for policy participation process. Here we should understand what is the cost of establishing such participation, what is the incentive system to undertake the participation. Then we will also talk about the what is the institutional mechanism needed to ensure such participation in agriculture policy process. So let us first understand the transaction cost of participation. When we request people to participate in the policy process, there is some cost involved, and we need to understand that cost actually what is. So there are different form of the transaction cost are there. If a farmer participate in the policy process, he knows all different types of the cost. Sometimes they have the real cost, sometimes we need to input the cost of the participation. Like if a farmer is invited in a participation in a meeting, if he invited to participate in a meeting, he has different types of cost. Like there is a travel expenditure, that is the real cost to him, and when he is moving from his working place to other places, he has to forego his labor or her labor, so there is an indirect cost is there. And a lot of information is required to participate, to express their views. So time and money is spent on the collection of information is also a cost to him and her. And then there is a cost on the government part also, as a government is basically as a organizer, they bear the several costs to ensure the participation of the real stakeholders. Sometimes when we talk about the transaction cost, we need to fix the entitlement to the stakeholders in the policy process, and we need to establish this entitlement in order to penetrate the deep participation. So actually we need to fix the role assignment of the participation on the stakeholders, and sometimes it is a formal or legal binding on the person to participate in the policy process, or sometimes we create the institutions along with the incentive system so that they participate in the policy process. So stakeholders are made to participate and enforced actually to implement or bear the responsibility of the final outcome. So we need to build some system here, and cost of such enforcement of the participation through the entitlement is basically mostly the government bear the cost of that entitlement, but sometimes stakeholders also they have to bear such cost. And now we will move to the incentive for participation. Actually to motivate a stakeholder to participate in the policy process, actually he should or she should pursue some benefits. So for him or her, the pursued benefit of the participation must outweigh the transaction cost of the participation. So if a person want to participation, he want to have participate in the policy formulation process, they must think about the they think about the what they will be achieving out of participating in the policy formulation process, and the cost should be and the cost of this participation should be less than the the perceived benefit of that participation. So they think always in the cost and benefit terms. So if they are getting out of something, out of that policy participations, they will be ready to incur some cost on the participation process. So if individual transaction cost is too big, sometimes in the cost is too high for a person to participate, the government must come forward to take up such activities and bear the associated transaction costs. So government should help the participants or the stakeholder so that they can participate in the policy making process. And for the government, they always have some political gain if they are able to frame a good policy, if they are able to implement a good policy. So that's why encouraging participation is always beneficial to the government, because if they are able to execute some good policy, they can bring some results at the ground level. It is good for them. Then now we will move to the institution for participation. Actually, the creation of the institution for is very important, and it ensures that adequate participations and also minimize the transaction cost. So if the we are able to create some institutions, some formal or informal type of institution, it helps to ensure the participation in the policy process, and it also help in the reduction or minimize the transaction cost. So there we may have two types of the organization or institution, like in the formal institutions, like we are building some core group or some commissions. So we can say they are the type of formal institution for policy formulation. So they have some rules and regulations, and that can be enforced for the compulsory participation of the stakeholders. Then we have the informal or traditional type of institutions. So here the code of conduct or the sanction or they enables actually for the participant to participate in a self compulsion mode or self regulation, through the self regulation or through the restraint. So so in case of informal or traditional, basically voluntary participation is motivated, and particularly we are observing the participation is more on the common pool resources, or like water user associations are there, the joint forest management is also there. There are different type of civil society or agents, they are participating in such issues in the policy making process. Now we can sum up this session that the participation of the stakeholder is a key to make successful agriculture policy, and it help in generate a sense of ownership and basically enhance the social accountability also. If the and the people, the beneficiary, they participate, they feel empowerment, they feel belongingness in the policy process. So it also creates this social accountability on the part of the policy making process on different stakeholders. And the participation is essential for successful accomplishment of any policy or any development programs. And there should be high intensity of the participations. They should be completely involved in the policy making process, policy implementation, policy monitoring, and the evaluations. And there is some transaction cost of the participation, and so in this case the pursued benefit from the participants should be more than the transaction cost of the participation. Thank you very much.